Oi. Hi, Mercy. Here we are. Here we are. Grand Parade. County Cork. Hi Barry Lynch, how's things? All good, my man. This is going to be starting now soon enough. It's 2 o'clock start, but I think they're still getting some stuff ready there, the speakers and that. Yeah, the gang of lefties went by there around 20 minutes ago. I think I can hear them again. There they are over there, see? There's nothing happening here, I'll show you this. You can see them coming down there. Hi Anti-Broadcast, hey bro, how are you? You can see them there, look at them. That's getting set up, hold on, we have a little look. You can hear the hatred in the voice.
I was wondering why you were smelling it.
Off they go, they're going up to the bridge. How's the story, boys? Harry? Ollie and Tinker. Having out for the day out. But they're still coming. A few of them. You get, I don't want to stand there videoing them. There they are down there, the road. Genocide. That's the end of it. Heading up to the bridge. They always do a counter protest when there's another one on, don't they? We'll head back over here. Sorry, John. All right, man.
I thought, well, I could wait.
Oi, 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 oi. The sun's blasting down here. So we'll face against it. I'm going to show you what's been set up. Yeah, here. The speakers. Aiming now, Cowboy. Hey, hey, how are you? Very good. Should I show it? Oh, yes. There you go. Traitors. There you have the legends. Your own personal favourites, that man. Thank you. Fair play. Very well done. Nice one. A little lad with his flags. Right. Nice and warm, anyway. Nice and warm. There's Tom McDonald. I'm sure he'll be on the microphone later on. Oh, who's in there? They say the sons of my eyes there. Say hellos. Awake and not woke. Welcome to the chat. And that's it for now. How are you? They're still just coming out of the line. That's Derek Bloy behind me. Yeah, Derek Bloy is here as well somewhere. There's plenty of flags. The Mousie's here as well. He's here somewhere. It's Dave. He's with his dog. Is that Dermot, is it? It must be a man Dermot, is it? His voice sounds familiar. I think he called some of the protests anti-corruption and stuff like that. Looks like him. Yeah, Cannon. It was great. A bit of poster work from your man, wasn't it? Very good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're handing out flyers there as well. I'm going to get one of them and see what it has on it. Irish Warrior. We got a flyer off him.
I know a few of those.
Cheers, buddy. Yeah.
I know a few of those.
There you are. Do you know what's happening in your child's school? They're being handed out. I'll give me a few of them. Double jobbing now, am I? Come on. There you go. Alright, no bother. There you go. Double jobbing. And the guard presents. Not as many as last time I was down here. There's a few around. There seem to be more down. Bringing the with our march down to the bridge. It's piping hot. It's lovely. Nice to get out of Dublin as well, to be honest. Look at these lads. He's getting all the food out here. Look at him. He's doing all that. Hey RBBB, how's it going? Irish, how are you? Hope you're all well. Welcome to the chat. We're down in Cork. Came down the train. Charlie Rose, how are you? Welcome to the chat. Hope you're well. Yeah, it's quite warm. Hope you are all out sunning it as well. Enjoying that weather while it's here. Yeah, and they're still gathering here. As I say, the speakers are up here, microphones are set up. Tom McDonald's here. And Derek Bloy is here. They're the names I presume will be they'll be talking here. There's a few pigeons. We're all just waiting. All just waiting. Oh, and I see Martin there from Gale Force Media. He's there as well. Yeah, the trio now who will be prominent in the things they do. So I presume maybe them three might be speaking. I don't know. Now she cycled down.
I have another option.
All the way. Same on the train tracks like with ahead of us. Happy Saturday 420. Good to see you. You get your rest. You get your rest. Who's clapping? Have a wander down here. See, there's more people sitting on the outskirts of it. You can tell, yeah, there's a few Irish flags and that's all.
Who's that?
Hi, buddy. Who's that? Sorry. This is what the Garda presence is like. Tree there, one on his blower. Tree there. Another one in front of that fountain. That's where that gathering. Come again? No? One with them, yeah? No, okay. So you can breathe while you're having your lunch? No? That went down to the floors. Yeah. Head back in. Some nice paintings. And then some not so nice ones. We still haven't started. How's that again, lads? Anyone new there? There's one of the posters done by one of the lads. He's going to spin it around. He's there again. It's not too bad. When the speeches start, they'll say they'll all congregate in front here, so you'll be able to get a better tell then, you know. But at the moment, they seem to be scattered on the outer perimeter of this area. A lot of discussions going on as it gets warmer. And Mousie's here as well, he's to the right of me.
But then again, we have to
I feel like I'm
Just buy our time. Let's put these in my pocket. There's Dog Man. Hold on, did I miss people there? Adam Young, how's it going? That sun's in my eyes. Hold on, folks. Alright, how are you? Yeah, Paul O'Neill, missed you, buddy. There you are. Yeah, I think that's everyone caught up. Hey, Vic. Besides, these are this. What time is it? We're 15 minutes now over. 15 minutes over. There's a big dog there. What's that? People's paper. Someone must have dropped that. Is it not enough to condemn exploitation? We must struggle against it. Rip off. Oh, put that in the bag for later. He's feeding the lot of them, look. They're all over. The state of the place. He's feeding the family. Woo. Yeah, the Irish Wolfhound Eflin. Welcome to the chat. Go easy in there now, lads, yeah? And get boys and girls. La 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 la. We need to get an angle, that someone's in my eye. It's going to start. There's someone with another flag. I think it's South American, is it? Iranian.
Yeah, this is the new lad. Yeah, he's only 6 months old.
Alright. Try and catch up there. It was. I was in Coach C, I was. Surrounded by a party of women, the fucking noise of them. It was good to hear their accents rather than walking through Dublin and not even hearing your own language, so. But they were noisy. Look at that. It's down there. Hey Adrian. He's sneezing there. She's getting warm. Yeah, Tiger. What's the story, bro? Alright, how are you? All good? All good?
No mention, did you get your haircut as well, did you?
I did indeed, yeah. We all did. The mousey and all got a chop.
Oh, jeez. He's almost to be watching me bigger please.
No.
How would you get a woman get your haircut?
There's Polly, is it? That's the story, brother. Alright, all good?
Yeah.
All good, yeah? Yeah, yo. I got my ticket early in the week, I did, so.
10 o'clock, I said, I was in the car, we passed then. The train, the next train was at 11. Paulie was on, after being on the phone to me, he said, I'm going down, fuck it. Cycled in and just abandoned me the week outside.
Where's it live? The family? Oh, Houston?
No, yeah, Houston, but you know, there's a couple of vans across the road.
Yeah.
Just fucked it in with a load of other people. It's there when I get back, happy days.
Yeah. Hopefully it will be. We'll
be able to drive home then.
Good to be.
How did you get down train?
Train, yeah.
When did you get down?
10 o'clock train.
So you were on the train with all the lads, right?
Yeah, I was in Coach C, he was.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll talk to you in a bit, man. Enjoy the day. So, calling out the media's here. Still no start here.
It's already done.
Shade, I can't see any of the screen. Hey Kirby. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. Just down in Cork, Kirby. More guards. Are we getting this started, John? Let's go, John. Yeah, John wants to get this started now. We're in a little position for John. Hey Tressa, just seeing your name there. Go. Hope you're enjoying the day. Enjoy the weather. You don't get much of it, so enjoy it. All right, dog man. I'll talk to you later, buddy. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Come on.
That's the thing, see, yeah. And of course, probably know the system anyway then.
Reason. Nice one, Adrian. There's a bit of music. A bit of something. It's too warm to dance. Yeah. Well. So that's how handing them out. Very good. Have them, pal. Alright, Curtis. Oh, that's after flying by there, Paul. Hold on. I don't know. You know yourself. My good idea to stand there, try and read. Spin. Hi, Carl. Hi, buddy. How good? Oh, you arrived at 12:30. 10 o'clock train. Coach C.
I used to be missed it. I was on the same train.
Yeah, you guys are a few carriages down.
Who?
A few carriages down from you as I was. Yeah. It's alright, 2.5 hours.
It's lovely, I like this place.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Yeah. Nice to get away as well, man.
Good night and joy be with you all. Of all the friends that ever I had, they are sorry at my going away. And of all the sweethearts that ever I had, they would wish me one more day to stay. But since it was until my luck that I should rise and you should not, I softly rise and I tenderly call. Good night and joy be with me all. If I had money enough to spend and leisure time to sit a while, there is a fair maid in this town who sorely has my heart beguiled. Her rosy cheek and rosy lips, I own she had my heart controlled. So fill to me a hearty glass. Good night and joy be with you all.
You're right, who? Right, there's John and there's Tom. I nearly called you Colin again, Tom. Who are you looking for? Speakers? All good, John.
I've been a wild rover for many's the year, and I've spent all me money on whiskey and beer. But now I'm returning with gold in great store, and I never will play the wild rover no more, and it's gone. I went into an alehouse I used to frequent, and I told the landlady my money was spent. I asked her for credit, she answered me nay. Such a custom as yours I can have every day, and it's no way better. No day better, no more. Till I play no more. I then took from me pocket 10 sovereigns bright, and the landlady's eyes open wide with delight. She says, I have this, and the wine's
photos?
the best, and the world is told her, me just and it's now, nay, never. No, nay, never, no, nay, I'll go home to my parents, confess what I've done, and I'll ask them to pardon that prodigal son. And when they've caressed me as oft times before, I never will pay the wild no more.
Enjoying the song? That's right. Yeah, good eyesight. Yeah, that's him. I think that's all the crowd now. Everyone's here. You over there. I think everybody's ready now. I go way over here. Onto the mic. Hey, brother. Yeah, I think we're getting ready. There's that sun. I think they're getting ready to begin now, folks. There's that man that was in Molesworth Street during the week. A very passionate speech he gave. I'm sure he's going to speak again. Getting out of the sun. And everybody's waiting. Yeah. Rebel Wolf. Ireland great again. Let's hope so. We're a long way down the tracks though. Long way down the tracks. It's getting warmer here. Whoever's in there, welcome in and thanks for joining it. Hopefully we get some sort of move on here. Doing a toss, Eddie, who goes first? Everyone that is on the half tree train are panicking. That's half two. I think I'm on the half four, I think.
Extra big tax camera. Check
Just looking for Cork to get a mention. Right, so they're writing down topics and right out.
1, 2, and 2.
Yoo-hoo! 1, 2, 1, 2. Hey, Jessica. And first, it's a protest down in Cork. It was headlined for about the cost of living, but I think they're going to touch on a few other things as well. Oh, you're in Cork, Ireland, yeah? Oh, yeah. I'm sure they're going to touch on other things.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is John. John Keller, is it? What's his first second name?
Tom Wilson.
John Wilson. This is John Wilson.
He's a former guard, a whistleblower.
Yeah.
well, leave it there, yeah. I'd say that again in case there are any woke vermin listening. Ladies and
Hey, Bridget.
gentlemen, there are
William,
only
welcome to
three
the chat.
genders.
John, come out into the light.
I've been given the job of MC in this event, so I wouldn't rate my chances of success in this role too highly.
Now you do your best.
Before I call the first distinguished speaker, can I just say, if you listen closely, you will hear a thunderous sound in your ears. Just listen very, 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 very carefully. And that thunderous sound is the sound of Michael Collins, Eamon De Valera, John Gray, and Tom Barry, and all our other great dead patriots turning in their graves. And before we get started, can I just say, I saw the merry band of communists passing by a short while ago. And I want to talk about UNA, U-N-A. UNA is the unholy alliance between the Islamists and the communists, and we saw that on full display here today, or this afternoon. I had to chuckle when I saw a Progress Pride flag. I saw a Progress Pride flag underneath a Palestinian flag. There's something wrong. I just can't put my finger on it. There's something wrong with that picture, with that image. I wonder what it is. Oh, right. Wait till I see. Right. Oh, yeah. Gay people are murdered in Palestine, or what they call Palestine. Yeah, very, very interesting. Can I just say that I also saw one of those geniuses carrying an Iranian flag. Okay? An Iranian flag. These people support the regime that very recently murdered a young woman because she wouldn't cover up her hair properly. This is the caliber of the people that these communist scumbags support. And can I just say this, really? Can I just make this clear? I'm from Cavan, from County Cavan. And of course, Micheál Martin would call me an outsider here. And I just have a clear message for Micheál Martin. Every Irish man and every Irish woman is a local in every part of our Ireland. Right, enough of me. The first speaker, if I can get my notes here.
So strong, isn't it?
I told you I'm a very bad MC.
Come on, stop, share everyone is friendly.
Our first guest is a man that you will all know from his great speeches outside of Dáil Éireann and outside of the library here in Cork. He's a man that has inspired quite a few people over the last few months. His name is PJ Crammon.
It's great if you come into the light, because it's very hard to get them.
I know. Listen, you probably don't want to be standing in the either.
So you can hear me down that side as well. You can see it. Put a lovely face with the dulcet tones. Folks, I heard on a radio programme one day driving home, Enda Kenny on the radio. And Enda Kenny turned around on RT Radio 1 and he said that the purpose of politics was power. Now that phrase, that sentence, grabs exactly what is wrong with this country at the moment, where we have to run to stand still. To where we used to have a father went out to work, a mother ran the home, and families could thrive on one wage. Where now we have two of them working, and they're stuck running to stand still, trying to keep the wood from the door, keep food in the fridge, and actually have their children recognise them as mother and father, because they spend half their time either in an after-school club or with a childminder, and they barely see the parents. There's no such thing as family life in this country. It's being eroded bit by bit by bit. The purpose of politics is public service. It is very simple in this country. Every single one of you, doesn't matter whether you fucking one leg or two, whether you're blind, deaf or dumb, whether you're working, whether you're not, you value in this country, and the state is supposed to mind you, and you're not supposed to be a fucking drone for it. Every election we see this happening. Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael brought back in. Revolving fucking door politics. You don't have to go beyond your own kitchen table when you sit down as a family, a greater family maybe on a Sunday, where the traitor is actually at your own table. Oh, we'll vote for him because he got us the medical card. Well, I'll tell you this much. When you get your wage, you get a fair day's work, hopefully, for a fair day's pay. He's doing what he's doing as his job, and you don't fucking reward him more than that. You don't fucking treat him as a fucking saint, like Micheál Martin up in his fucking pinnacle. Micheál Martin, the same man who's not here, he's fucked off to Cyprus. Micheál Martin, who's taking the baton, the EU's fucking lapdog shtick, off of Cyprus and bringing it to fucking Dublin, thinking that we're wonderful. Oh, the whole EU will see us. They'll see the modern Ireland. They'll see the modern Ireland, alright. They'll see the IFSC and the fucking hundreds of billions hidden behind brass plate companies there. They'll see the likes of Meta, Google and Facebook. Apple we have here in the Hollyhill up above there. And the billions that are fucking spent there, and the sweetheart deals that are done. If you open up a business tomorrow, be you a person that will take that jump. You'll get cut for fucking rates, you'll get cut for fucking costs, left, right and centre. But they can do a sweetheart deal with the government, that they don't pay the fucking rate of corporation tax.
Hi, Vinny.
And why do they? Because they buy them pure and fucking simple. They were in the Galway tent with Fianna Fáil when it was builders and developers. And now they're fucking in the boardrooms in Dublin, buying our fucking politicians. We have it here. We're right behind there. There's an apartment block. That apartment block was built on the site of Beamish Brewery. There was supposed to be an event centre there, if you remember the sod turning 11 years ago, where Micheál Martin and Simon Coveney did the sod turning on it. All those fucking apartments are built, but no event centre. And I work with a moving company here in Cork, and I can tell you what comes out of the most of those apartments is foreign college students from UCC. Fine money they have, they're renting the fucking place, grand job. You have Irish people on the streets. Can't get a door, a bit of safety to put behind, but we can house those college students because they've got plenty fucking moolah. Well, that shit stops now! In this country, a man is supposed to mean something. He's not supposed to be by the measure of his bank account, but how much use he is to his community. As a father, as a brother, as a person that just helps another neighbour when they need to be helped. We do it in our Cork, we still do it the metal days, and we come together. Anthony and myself were only talking today about how a fella helps him with a digger, and I said, I know then, you're there for him. And he said, that's the way it fucking works. And we're lucky that we still have that. But I can tell you, on the main street in Bantier, when you leave my house and walk down into the village, we've had a gradual emptying of flats and houses of Irish people. And what do we have? We have our Ukrainian welfare tourists. We should God help them. Jesus Christ. You have to pay tax, insurance and NCT. You have to get the car serviced. You have to pay the fucking tyres. No tax, no NCT, no insurance for them. Tyres and a service, community welfare check. Now I'm sorry lads, but we either have fucking equality in this country or we don't. Because we're turning out like George Orwell's Animal fucking Farm. Some things are good, some things are equal, but some people are more equal than others. We have people here coming into this country. We have houses and places enough for our own. We not alone fail ourselves when they come, we fail them as well. So we need to do what we need to do to ensure the survival of this country. There is no halfway, because when you get too far and get beyond the fucking tipping point, lads, you'll all be saying, why didn't I stand up? There's an old fucking saying, lads. They came for the trade unionists and I said nothing. They came for the priests and the church and I said nothing. They came for the teachers and I said nothing. And when they came for me, there was no one left to speak up. That's the Ireland we are making. Ireland of islands of people. 5 million of us, head stuck in the fucking phones. That's all we have. Not one man that knows his fucking neighbour nowadays. And lads, you either do it right or you fuck off home.
Can you not give your speech, bro, using so much profanity?
I'm from North Cork and that's how we speak.
Yeah, I'm from Cork as well, right? That is an absolutely disgusting speech. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I will not. I agree with a lot of your
I'll do my best for you, man.
You're not doing anything. You're not doing anything for me.
I can hear you.
Tell you what you're doing. You're putting the whole movement down with that professional.
Everyone's entitled to an opinion. One thing we have in this country, lads, we have an absolute massive fucking surplus coming into this country. We're told today in the Irish Independent that there's going to be 2,500 children at a conservative estimate will not have a school place next year that are special needs. We have 9.2 billion euros. It could be solved in the morning, it could be done. We mightn't solve it right away, but we could solve it by building those places so we get it further. We have children strangling with scoliosis. We have families running to stand still. We have suicide is an absolute mortal epidemic in this country. And we know ourselves that we have the solutions in our hands. But lads, she can't go and vote Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. And for those people that are seeing the videos that the lads are recording here today, lads, you can't have them, as I said in Dublin, you can't have them take their boot off just to put a slipper on, to put it down on your bloody neck. Lads, we have one chance, and we are in the 11th hour and the 55th minute before this all ends. And that's where we are. We have Washington Street closed off today. There was a protest march here about 2 weeks ago on a Sunday. And the first thing that they did was they closed the bridges in Cork. Micheál Martin was on about 24 hours later saying that the poor Iranians had the right to protest and free assembly. And in 24 hours later, he shut his own city down. He shut his own city down. Our hometown of Cork, the second city. In fact, it was the third city of the British Empire. And we still are acting like the bloody lads. The Brits are still at the door. Lads, you have to stand up. You have to come forward. There is no use in saying we'll solve it tomorrow. You solve it today. You solve it today by getting on to every councillor that they have. Every Fianna Fáil, every Fine Gael fella. They're on your Facebook feed. More feeds than you've seen now. On about how great they are and everything. Lads, you have to hassle them. You have to ring them. Email them. Call to their office. Be there and tell them that they're fucking barking up the wrong tree. It's as simple as that. Sorry, no, I just not a bit tired. My smart last night. So listen, look, I finished. I'm gonna hand over here to one of the men that there were hundreds of truckers up above in Dublin, and they were confounded because 6 lads in Cork went down to Whitegate, and we gave the country a hell of a wobble. We gave the country a hell of a wobble, lads. He was the first man that rolled a truck into Whitegate. He was the man that stayed at the very end. He was the man that I went down there for to help, because I know they had no medical help, and God, thanks be to God, I was there that day with the people I treated that were pepper sprayed by our friends, the guardians of peace behind. Hello lads, how are you? They were no help then, they're no help now. But this man is a man who's in North Cork, and hopefully he's going to take it forward politically, and he's going to speak for the people in North Cork, and he's going to speak for the people of Ireland, because he's got a head on his shoulders. He walks the same walk we walked. He's got just 2 arms, 2 legs and a head, and you cut him and he bleeds red, the same as us. He has no notions. That man is Anthony Keller. He's a great friend of mine, and Anthony, stop fucking filming, boy, come on. It's time for Anthony Keller to come up there now.
Right, thanks PJ. Thanks everybody for coming, firstly. We have the weather for it, so it's a good thing we have that. But look, I'll only say a few words. There was 6 of us went down to Whitegate 2 weeks ago now, I suppose, but we went down to Whitegate and we set up in the wall below. 3 trucks, 3 tractors, set up in the wall below for about an hour. And you're saying, what will we do? Will we or won't we? So eventually we said, fuck it, you know what? Yeah. So we pulled up, we blocked the gates. When we arrived there, we walked around to all the residents down there and we just asked them and said to them, look, we're planning on doing this, is that okay with you? They said, yeah, 100%. There's beds there for the lads that don't have beds in the tractors, and there's eggs there in the morning for you if you want them. So we said, fair enough. From day one, we've got support from all over the place, from truckers, farmers, electricians, carpenters, builders in general. Normal Joe Soaps just along the street, we say healthcare workers, nurses, carers. Like, that's what we're trying to get out there. This fuel protest is no longer a fuel protest. It's to do with everything in this country. Everyone is affected. Whether you're a carer trying to get to work to look after people, whether you're a nurse, it's the most vulnerable people in this society that are left behind by this government. And they're not actually listening. They're just plain ignorant, and they're just oblivious to what's actually happening. But why we decided to go to Whitegate was, we said, it's one of the places in the country that probably would hurt them the most. Now, 44% of the country's fuel comes out of Whitegate. So it was strategically a good place to hit, and it made them sit up and notice what was actually going on. So look, I don't have a whole pile more to say on it, but look, we were supported by everybody, and we're not finished yet. We're not finished with these fuckers. We're going to put them back in their place. Like, it's about time, as PJ was saying there, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, been voted in time and time and time and time again. And there's one common denominator in all of this. It's them 2 parties that is our country fucked. It's on our knees. And we're trying to bring it back. Like, I've kids at home. I've one 21-year-old, I've a 15 and a 16-year-old, along with a load of people here. Everybody has kids. We want to have a country for them that they can grow up in and not have to immigrate to America, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, wherever they want to go. But like, I have a friend of mine that has a quarry, and this is just one small little story. His daughter is a doctor. She qualified 3 years ago as a doctor. There was 83 people when they qualified in her group. How many are left in this country? Take a guess. 3 people. 3 doctors left here. All them doctors qualified with highest honours and everything. There's 3 of them left. Like, isn't that saying something when the people here are being sent abroad and we're trying to get people back then to cover our nurses, our doctors. Nurses, like, are on their feet. I've seen it. My mum was in hospital there not too long back, and a lot of non-national nurses, very, very grateful for them, but they're the people that are struggling on their feet as well, as long as our own people. And, you know, another small example, I was at a meeting last night in Little Island, and there was a lady stood up. She said, I'm a pensioner. I called to a neighbour of mine. She said I hadn't seen in quite a while, and this lady, God help her, had her television, her little small portable television, brought into the kitchen. And she had a duvet around her, and what she was heating her house with was the 4 little rings on top of the cooker. So that can tell you, like, the most vulnerable people in our society are the very, very young, the very, very old, and everything in between. But like this mental health, PJ touched on it there, mental health, everyone's mental health is suffering in this. And they don't care. They just don't care. They just turn a blind eye as long as they're okay in Dublin, inside in the Dáil with their suits and everything on. Everyone else doesn't care in this country. But it is time for everybody here to stand up and say, enough's enough, lads. We have enough of your shit. Get the fuck out.
Inspirational speech, I must say, but before I call on the next distinguished speaker, I think, what day is today? It's Saturday. I think we must be due another lecture on democracy from our supreme leader, Traitor Martin. And this is a man who, along with Slimy Harris, gerrymandered the presidential election process last year to prevent a non-establishment candidate from contesting the presidential election. And this man has the gall and the cheek to talk about democracy. Micheál believes in the form of democracy that suits himself. I mean, he wouldn't know real democracy if it bit him on the head. But I think that it's important, and just to touch on what our first speaker said about the Irish people. I mean, a lot of Irish people are waiting for a saviour to arrive in to save us. But I mean, the truth is, the reality is that nobody is going to come galloping into Ireland on a white charger to save us. We have to save ourselves.
Fucking sick of saying it.
And just a message to all of the Irish people that are feeling cowed down and that they're afraid to come out and demonstrate, or they're afraid to be seen, because in case it might insult our glorious leaders and our rotten, corrupt political establishment, I have a clear message for these people. Get up off your knees, stand up strong and proud, and together we will take our country back.
Go on, John.
Oh, come on. I hope to God I don't mangle this gentleman's name. I'm deeply apologetic if I do. Mr. Dermot O'Kyla.
I was right, it is Dermot. I knew I spotted him. Just all the anti-corruption protests and that.
A horde
Didn't say him if I can.
But the plane of Keshler and Tyson the fodder, the Blianta, agus Nilmer Tachter and Raytok, or then these monarchy Bianus has started again, agus become a realtus near realtus, become a low, stored and gnaw fobble. Maar hard zitten in dat lion, maar kocht in de Kellerbekop, on the pokey of quid pokey, learned the arrogant, the tira. Agus is all yield, it's meeting all yield a our school. Friends, we have attended protest marches and rallies for many decades, and generations before us have done the same thing. And I think we're probably all directing our energies at the same problem, the same underlying problem. And I'm sure I won't get a disagreement when I say that we do not have a government in Leinster House which represents the people of Ireland. We simply do not have that. What we have in Leinster House, since its first establishment, is a puppet regime installed by the English government as they fled before the rising Irish people in the War of Independence. What they did at the time is they divided the people, and with a combination of, I have to say, some who took an oath of allegiance to the King of England, including Michael Collins, and De Valera, who went on to hang Republicans with the English hangman. These are the forces which built Leinster House and the power it wields over the people of Ireland today. So today we're probably here because the issue has come to fore with the fuel crisis, the price of fuel. Truckers, farmers, heavy users of fuel have no choice because their livelihood is at stake. But homeowners families heating their homes, or people who drive for work or for whatever reason, the price of fuel has gone far beyond any reason, and it's been highlighted in the middle of all this that the lion's share of all that is government tax anyway. So who are they fooling? Just like during the property boom, it turned out that the government was living off the excise duties and taxes on homes. And this is true today still, as yet again higher homeless figures are published than ever has existed in the state.
52% are non-national.
Now, I have to say it's nothing to do with the nationality of anybody. We have a government in Leinster House which does not represent the people of Ireland. And further evidence for that is, announced again during the week, is that the government this year will have an unexpected surplus in the budget of €9 billion. It's already been mentioned here. That could house pretty much everybody in Ireland on the housing list without any loans. What we're experiencing today in the fuel crisis is not the result of the lack of resource. It is the result of decision in how those resources, which belong to the people of Ireland, how those resources are allocated. Today, electricity bills, anyone who gets them, they're soaring. But do we know that householders in Ireland pay twice the rate for electricity as do the data centres? And those same data centres use up about 20% of the total capacity of electricity generated in the state. So I have some notes, but there's so many issues, people don't need me to read through them. We have been betrayed, we have been lied to, we have been bullied, arrested, beaten, conned, deceived everywhere by those who are duty bound to represent us. So to my reading, it leaves one path open to us, and that is revolution. We have to be done with these people.
Come on, Dermot.
When I say revolution, I'm not asking people to take the understandable anger and just lash out at whatever passes. What we must do is we must think calmly as to what is required to establish the freedom and the genuine independence of the Irish people. And as we think of that, my suggestion is that we realise we are not the first ones on the block. Our own generation and former generations, going back centuries, have dealt with the same issues. So we should learn the lessons learned by our former generations. And the overwhelming theme arising from that is that we need to re-establish the Irish Republic, proclaimed initially by the United Irishmen, reiterated and strengthened all the way through 1916, all the way through the most recent era of struggle in the 6 counties. This Irish Republic is what will guarantee to the people of Ireland that we will be masters of our own destiny. Yes! Fully, exclusively. The Irish people are the only legitimate stakeholders in establishing the policy of our state and the future of all of Ireland, not just the Free State, so-called. So, Horda, Ianamarav, Swain of Sheer, ar Cadaha Imaharoing, Cadiad Nahaimana, a Viegor Sheincher, Agus either Fred, or Son Search in the Tira, Mahan Trudson Post, the Kriach No. So, up to the Republic of Horda.
Come on, Dermot.
Just before I bring forward our next distinguished speaker, sorry, I don't need a microphone anyway, I'm loud enough. But did you ever think in your wildest nightmare that we'd be here where we are today? Where we have a government, we have a Taoiseach, who will proudly fly the flag of every other nation state in the world, but he's ashamed of our own tricolour, our own national flag.
They fucking pay for it.
He appears to have, and it's not just himself, our government politicians appear to have a collective inferiority complex when it comes to flying our own national flag. And even the so-called opposition TDs, and parties that are meant to be on our side of the argument. When was the last time you heard somebody from Aintree or independent Ireland stand up in Dáil Éireann and proudly proclaim Ireland belongs to the Irish? You've never heard it. Right, ladies and gentlemen, the next speaker I'm going to introduce to you is the man who inspired the recent demonstrations that we've seen throughout this country. He's the man who put forward the idea of holding these demonstrations. And by the way, this is not a protest. This is a demonstration. A protest is when a prisoner climbs onto the roof of Cork prison or Mountjoy prison to demand better food. That's a protest. This is a demonstration. And what we have witnessed over the last 2 weeks are demonstrations by people who are literally fighting for their survival in this country. For Irish people are rapidly becoming second-class citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, Councillor Tom McDonald from County Kildare.
Tom McDonald.
I'd like to thank everyone and the people that spoke in front of me. Great speakers. And Chairman there, I watch them there with the boats coming in, the NATO ships and all that. See what's going on in Ireland is just unbelievable. We are a corporation. Ireland is a corporation. The Irish government do not recognise us. So the sooner we realise that, the better. We are being run only for our taxes so they can get on with the invasion and the takeover of our country. When the war broke out or whenever in Iran and the crisis was getting bigger, I was highlighting the fuel crisis, and I called a meeting as a protest meeting demonstration at Martin Hayden's office in Newbridge, so that people needed to know that this tax, to highlight the taxes on the fuel. The taxes on diesel and petrol is up to 65%. People don't know that. They'll go and they'll blame Trump, they'll blame the war, they'll blame everything, but they'll never blame the 65% that they're charging on tax is the problem. And where that problem is happening is when they go into Dunn stores and the woman buys her shopping, instead of paying €150, she's paying 300. That's in about 5 years. That's what's happened. So it's tax. When we had the crisis back in 2008, 2009, they put on these USC charges, they put on all taxes on top of it. Like we said, they will be removed, you know, when we get brighter days. So we hit brighter times 14, 15, 16, but they never come off. Why? Because they increase the amount of people coming into the country. They increase our taxes, our social welfare payments in 2004 or 5 was 2002 was 9 billion. What is it today? It's 43 billion. And that's caused by the people, mainly by coming in here. It should have leveled off here at about 25 billion social welfare. But social welfare now is up to 43 billion. So we're paying that, we're taxed at work, we're paying it every way, and any way they can get it out of us. Yeah. They don't recognise the homeless. Someone was saying some of the people are homeless from overseas. We have no business. If you have a family, you feed your own family. You're not worried about people coming here from overseas. They have no business coming here. The game is over. We have homeless people. They are miscontriving the figures the whole time. The figures for homeless will always be 17, 18, 19,000, because they'll say we have to build more houses. But what do we do with the houses? They're selling them to vulture funds. In 2023, 70% of the properties bought in Dublin were bought by foreign people, by foreign, and 46% of the was paid in cash, no mortgages. So that is absolutely horrific. There should be a revolution in this country, whether it be a peaceful revolution, we'd hope, or will people hit the streets and just take no more. But we're at breaking point, and when I got the people on the street for the fuel protest, I went to the meeting, Merton Hayden's office at 1 o'clock on the 28th, and I went down there with all the business people were meeting in the Midlands Hotel in Portleash, and I said, lads, Kieran Malooly of Independent Ireland was orchestrating the meeting, and he says, we'll write letters to the government, we'll write letters to this. I says, action, we took too much fucking writing letters to this one, that one and the other. Hit the M50 and we got a response, and well done to the boys in Whitegate and everyone down here. And the way those mercenaries treated the people in Whitegate was absolutely outrageous. They're up there talking to you, I'll talk to them, but they are basically scum what they've done down there. Scum, and they'll always be known as scum and traitors. And as there was a speech years ago,
nice one there.
Martin Luther King, he says, I have a dream. Well, I have a dream that we bring back treason, and see those arches over there, hang every one of them over there.
Well said, Tom. Well said. Well said, Tom.
Yeah.
That's it. Straight to the point.
Sorry, Tom, I thought everyone was like me. I can't let go of the microphone.
The sun's gone in.
Just to follow on from Tom.
Hold on a second. Who was saying something about Israel or anything there? Who was saying something? Come up here. Come up here. Yeah, who was saying something about Israel?
He's gone, he was over there.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck.
Just to follow on. Listen, we can have compassion for everybody, but we must put Ireland first and Ireland forever. And Ireland always. Alright? Now, before I call on the great Mary White to come forward, I noticed on top of the Cork City Library here, there are 2 flags flying on the roof of the Cork City Library. 2 flags of equal standing. One is our national flag and the other one is the fantasy so-called Progress Pride flag. Shame Cork City Council for allowing that fantasy flag to have equal standing with our national flag. A flag! Thousands, tens of thousands, about hundreds of thousands of brave Irishmen and brave Irish women gave their lives so that we could fly this great flag freely. Shame on them! Shame on them! Shame on them! Mary White, please come forward.
Muintir Corky, August Muintir na Héireann, Díomh Machartagay. I'm delighted to see here today an array of our flags. These are magnificent symbols of our nation. The harp flag reaches back into the antiquity of Ireland, to pre-Christian times, and we have our beloved tricolour. We saw this flag and its beautiful colours fill the streets of our towns and our cities, and that was a lovely sight to my eye, and I think to many more people's eye. It unites us in our own country, and it unites us with our exiled sons and daughters, our diaspora, the multi-millions of our people who are scattered around the world. It is a unifying symbol, as is our Aura on the Bean, and it is entitled to be protected, to be preserved, and to be celebrated with pride and with honour, and I'm sure all you good people here today will do so. We have seen recently, some people call them demonstrations, some call them protests. Whatever, it was a mass movement of multitudes of people come onto the street in opposition to destructive policies of Leinster House. The policies were deliberately devised. The destruction of the policies, which involved the increase, I suppose this really is the straw that broke the camel's back, was the increase in fuel costs. It rose to such an exorbitant height that it impacted on a whole array of services and products in the country. When fuel cost goes up, fuel is not a luxury. It is an essential commodity. It's used in the heating of people's homes, it's used in the production of food, in the production of a whole array of products, and in the transport of them. And when an additional cost is heaped on fuel, that is then reflected on all the products that you buy. So, the detrimental consequences of that is that it will collapse certain businesses. They will no longer function. This was brought to the attention of the Leinster House regime. Large numbers of people, as you know, supported truckers and tractors which were brought onto the street to alert the government of the destructive policies that was impacting the daily lives of the whole country. Instead of engaging in reasoned and civilised discourse, they adopted a most strident arrogancy, a dismissive attitude. You pay up, put up, shut up, or we beat you up. We have seen demonstrated pitifully, we have witnessed a bankruptcy to engage in any kind of a civilised discourse, and then they reached for muscle. They used the Gardaí as a private muscle to clamp down on people. And we've heard the term public order bandied about. Now, the policies of the government didn't serve public order. It caused disorder. This is what they're trying to bring to the attention of the people who manufacture these policies. So several protests took place, and we saw the boot and the baton being exerted on protesters who were entitled to protest. And we had that entitlement because it's enshrined in our Constitution, 46.1. So we have constitutional protection to gather, to assemble and to protest peacefully. We also are guaranteed these rights under international treaties. The international treaties are the European Convention of Human Rights and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, to which Ireland is a signatory. They have no entitlement to breach our rights, which are entitled in the highest law of the country, which is Bunreacht na hÉireann, or the treaties that were assigned to. We've been lectured about penalties in relation to protesters. And the question arises, where are the penalties in relation to those state agencies and agencies who have contravened the Constitution and in actual fact subverted it, and who have contravened international treaties? People had very good reason to demonstrate. They had very good reason to protest. And the bulk of the country was behind and supported the protest because they saw the validity of it. No, it did cause inconvenience. But inconvenience does not negate or nullify the constitutional protection which we have. And the idea and the plan, my understanding is, for the demonstrators was to right the wrongs, to correct the wrongs of policies that were crushing and are crushing enterprises and are forcing the price of everything up. Now we've heard a lot of other people have spoken, and I'm not going to speak much longer. That is our flag. This is our country. Every square inch of soil belongs to the Irish. It belongs to the Irish who give allegiance to our country. It doesn't belong to betrayers, and it doesn't belong to traitors. Every mountain, every lake, every river belongs to us.
Exactly.
Our nation was blessed with abundant resources. I'm not going to even touch on the oil resource, which has just been ignored. We have a self-replenishing resource in our fishing industry. It can support massive populations, both on the coast and inland. Instead of culling our cattle increase the numbers of it. It is the most important commodity in the nation, food, the food supply, outside of our demographic. And our demographic has been under assault for centuries. Cromwell tried to rid our country of our people, to reduce us to a manageable small demographic. The idea today is the same, the tactic is just different.
The woman knows what's going on.
In closing, I have two things to say. We have assembled here today. We have the freedom to assemble here today, but that freedom was hard fought for. The best and the bravest of our country battled, and their lives were taken from them in the fight to establish that freedom. The Constitution that I referred to had to, in some way, reflect the 19th Proclamation. So I would like you to do two things, maybe, I suggested. One, that we have a moment's silence for all the people who fought for our nation, our sovereignty, our culture, our freedom, our people. So I'd like to have a moment's silence. Thank you. And now, I'd like to put your hands together and give a big applause, because everybody who participates in all these assemblies and these gatherings are part of the protest, part of the demonstration, and give yourselves a huge big clap for your valour, your courage and your commitment. We have a wonderful nation. All we need is honest, true management of the affairs, and we will be, and have the ability to be, the most splendid nation on the face of the earth. Will be a moment.
Very inspirational. Very inspirational contribution. Can I just say that it's very clear that the Irish state is at war with the Irish nation. And by the Irish nation, I mean they've become the real decent Irish people, the people of this country. There's a major chasm, a major divide between the Irish state and the Irish people. And I keep telling people that courage is contagious. And I think more people have woken up in this country over the last 2 weeks than have woken up in the previous 20 years. Very, very impressive, fantastic, it's great, but it's not enough. There are still too many of our people asleep. People that are unwilling or afraid to wake up and to realise that our country is literally being destroyed. We are losing our country in real time, and that's a fact. That's a sad fact. I wish to God Almighty that what I'm saying is incorrect or untrue. But ladies and gentlemen, we are losing our beautiful Ireland in real time. And what politician said recently or a couple of years ago that he doesn't believe in old-fashioned sovereignty? Traitor Martin. How dare our so-called leaders say that? How dare our so-called leaders say that he doesn't believe in old-fashioned sovereignty? What he means is, he believes in uncontrolled borders, mass uncontrolled immigration into Ireland. And so far, unfortunately, he's getting his way. But I want to send a very clear message to Traitor Martin Slimy Harris, et al. Et al. It's important to add in the et al. At the end of it, because they are not alone. There's a collection of traitors in Leinster House. And I have a message for the other politicians that are sitting idly by, that don't agree with Traitor Martin and Slimy Harris and the rest of them, et al. That you're as bad. The sin of omission is every bit as bad as the sin of commission. You're equally as guilty of betrayal of great country. But Micheál, you know, it's important to remember that there are more of us than there are of you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mandy Larkham.
Thanks, Mandy.
Thanks very much. First of all, it's
hope
very
you're well, Elaine.
inspirational listening
Good to see you in
to
the shop.
everybody that has spoken, you know. There's
Yes,
real
Liz
power
O'Connell.
in what they're saying, real truth. This isn't about a left or a right. This is about everybody coming together here today. We're all under the one banner. We're not happy with the psychopaths that's running in the government at the moment. I'm an Irish woman. I'm a proud Irish woman, and we're all the Indigenous Irish here. I'm heartbroken as to what's happening in my country at the moment. I have 2 boys, and I worry about their future. I worry about what's happening in the schools. I worry about how they're going to survive when they're in college, how they're going to get jobs, how they're going to work. You know, it's a constant worry for parents, for everybody. Just listening to yourself talking about the 83 doctors in the country, there's only 3 of them left. How many has come in from other countries? You know, it's scandalous. It's really, really, it's disturbing. We have been absolutely terrorised, and I mean terrorised, for the last 6 or 7 years by a government that does not give a flying kite about its people. It's, you know, my mother is here with me at the moment, and she's 70, and she's worried about digital ID. Like, for a woman, a 70-year-old woman, to be worried about digital ID, you know, it's scandalous what's happening. I ran in the Irish People Party, and at the moment there's a man in County Galway, AJ Cahill, who's running, hoping to replace our lovely president that we have at the moment, Catherine Conley. I'm sure you all love her. The disappearing one, you know, the one that disappears when we need her. Yeah. But he's running, hoping to get her seat.
Mutant Bulldog.
Now, AJ is one of our own, and he's been speaking out for the last couple of years, for years and years, about what's happening in this country. He's running in Galway, and I'd ask people here, if they know people in Galway, or if you're from Galway yourselves, to look him up on YouTube and give him support, because he really needs it. We need to get more of these people like him to try and get in to overrun who's there at the moment. Listening to Tom there, you know, when he was saying about hanging them here, you know, I mean, that's absolutely correct. They should be all hung, drawn and quartered for what they've done to the people of this country. You know, I'm fortunate enough that I have my mother here, and we speak every day about the going-ons of what's happening in the country. It's all doom and gloom, you know, at the moment. It's all bad news. You know, it's like the worry of the digital ID, the worry of people's houses being taken, and, you know, iPass centres in communities. You know, for the last couple of years, every community and village has been under attack from an iPass centre.
No problem kicking the chair.
And it's heartbreaking for them local people in the towns that has to stand and try and fight this invasion and the replacement, because this is a very planned operation. It is an invasion, and it's a replacement of the Irish people. And it's lovely to see everybody here today, but there isn't enough people. Like, we're all here now under the same banner. Before this, you could have called us conspiracy theorists, you could have called us racist, you could have called us everything, but you can't call us genuine people that cares for our country. And that's why we need more and more people to come together and try and stand up and get some sort of shape back on it, because otherwise there's no future for my kids, there's no future for my grandkids, there's no future for your kids. You know, we'll be just completely overrun, and it's heartbreaking to see it. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you.
Well said.
Thanks, Mandy. Just to echo what Mandy said about right and left. Most of us here, I mean, say everybody here, we don't believe in right and left politics. We believe in right and wrong politics. There's a big difference. And in relation to the great replacement theory, ladies and gentlemen, it's no longer a theory. it's now a reality. And the main goal of the European Union is to destroy nationalism. It's to destroy the nation state.
Against the government.
And just speaking about what's happening in our own education system, can I just give a shout out to Enoch Burke, a man of great principle. A man of great principle. He has served over 600 days in Mountjoy prison as a prisoner of conscience. And people can come along and say, no, John, that's a conspiracy theory. He's in prison because he failed to obey a court order. Right. I'll give you my little spiel before I go back over to Tom wants to clarify something. If everybody refused to obey court orders, there would be anarchy in the country. But every court order must be based on reality. The court order that has led to Enoch Burke's imprisonment in Mountjoy prison for over 600 days is based on fantasy, not on reality. There's a big, big difference between fantasy and reality. But there's a very sad reality here that we are losing tens of thousands of our best and our brightest young people every year through immigration. And the sad reality is that our sons and daughters are meeting their replacements at Dublin Airport and at every other airport and ferry port throughout this country. They are literally meeting their replacements at Dublin Airport and at other airports and ferry ports throughout this country. That is shameful. That is shameful. And in relation to the decision of Jim O'Callaghan to deploy our beloved defence forces against the decent, hard-working people of Ireland, shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! That was, I'd say, one of the most despicable decisions by any Irish government minister in the history of our great republic since we gained our independence from Britain in 1921. It was, I would go so far as to say, it was the most despicable decision ever made by an Irish government minister. And we cannot heap enough shame and opprobrium on his head and on the head of the rest of our traitorous politicians.
Get them all out.
Get them out!
Councillor Tom McDonald just wants to make a couple more comments that he failed to include in his great speech.
Thanks, John. Yeah. Thanks, John. Yeah, we don't speak enough about the vaccines. The vaccine injured, the vaccine killed. And, you know, at times I take the microphone, you're always going to leave something out. But we must not forget the vaccine dead and the vaccine injured. Our deaths have went up from 31,000 average to 37,000. It's absolutely criminal how they're able to get away with it. I approached Simon Coveney, a local politician to here, outside the Dáil, and he says, what if we didn't give it to them? I said, they'd be a fucking live. They'd be well.
They'd be alive if they didn't give it to her. They murdered my sister, they did.
Yeah. There's so much that these people have done to us, it's unreal. There's so many strokes, they have irregular heartbeats, there's so many conditions from the vaccine, it's unreal. But the big thing Mandy covered there was digital ID. I was told to mention digital ID. Digital ID will be a prison, lads. It's a prison. Either you stand and fucking fight now or forever be locked up. You have to no way accept that in any make or shape or form. If any of your children digital wallets are to go on about that, just refuse it, turn against it, use cash when you can. It's very hard, but try and take out a few hundred in cash all the time and try and keep using cash. Turn down digital ID at all costs. We will no longer be able to protest. You'll never be able to stand here again. Because if you come here, they'll say, that's 100 points, deducted. Your card will be turned off for 2 weeks. You'll be starving. This is what we're hitting. Everything is a conspiracy. The skies above us is a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Geoengineering. Everyone is refusing. I brought it up in the council. They started laughing at me. in November. They laughed at me in December, sniggered me. They weren't fucking laughing in January. I said, it's still raining, lads. Look out the window. And it rained for something like 56 days, 64 days non-stop. So don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to be strong. You got to be strong, and you got to tell your children to be strong. Fight these totalitarian fascists. That's what they are, fascists. They will beat you. They are scum. Tell them they're scum. That's what they are. They will not beat us. I'll sooner die fighting them to walk away. I'll never walk away. I'll walk straight up to them and contest them. And every one of you do that. You never turn away from them. Thank you, lads. Thanks, Cork.
Thanks, Tom.
Tom for president.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time for talking is over. The time for action is now. And to all of the people, to all of the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of Irish men and Irish women that are suffering in silence behind closed doors, I have a clear message for all of you people. Get out onto the streets of Ireland and roar like a lion.
Be bold as a lion.
We are here to talk about the cost of living and the very fact that couples earning good money in this country, what are regarded as very high wages in this country, those couples cannot afford to buy a house in Ireland. They cannot afford to buy a house in Ireland. They can just about afford the rent, and even then they are struggling. They can't afford to get married, and they cannot afford to have children. And even if they decide to have children, they might be only able to have one child because they can't afford to have any more than one child. Cavan Town, or Cavan County, County Cavan, the rents are in some places astronomical. In Ballyjames-Duff, the average rent of a house is in the region of €1,800 per month.
Life down in Cork.
€1,800 per month. And when we take into account that the cost of fuel, the cost of petrol, the cost of diesel, that people have to put into their own cars before driving to work. They don't get travelling allowance like our TDs and our senators do. They are living in a gilded cage compared to the ordinary, decent, hard-working men and Irish women in this country that are struggling to survive. There's nobody paying for their petrol or their diesel or their travel expenses. And I put forward a couple of proposals through Councillor McDonald a couple of weeks ago. And one of those proposals is that every person that has to travel in excess of 20 kilometres to get to work should be able to write off their additional travel costs against their tax, and that includes the high toll charges that they have to pay as well. Because that's what a proper government would do. We have people literally freezing in the houses, freezing in their homes during winter because they can't afford to turn on or to buy kerosene heating oil.
Yeah, user. Cork.
And I think that at the very least the government should suspend or scrap all taxes and duty on kerosene heating oil. Now I know that the only tax I think is the carbon tax. The carbon tax is an excise charge. It is an excise tax. It is a form of excise duty. But the government will not scrap carbon taxes because you see carbon taxes are part of the new religion, this new climate change woke religion. Carbon taxes are on the high altar of this woke globalist religion, this woke globalist toxic hateful religion that nearly all of our politicians subscribe to. They have lost. Micheál Martin spoke a few years ago about where is your humanity in relation to the criminal illegal aliens that are invading Ireland. Where is your humanity? Well, Micheál, where is your humanity when it comes to looking after the hard-working, decent Irish men and Irish women?
Yeah, you know, it's 100% agree with you,
The sole remit of every Irish government is very, very simple. The
Good to have you
sole
on board.
remit of every government, of every Irish government, is to take care of their own citizens. Okay? Putting their own citizens first, it's a no-brainer.
How's it going?
Putting Irish people in Ireland first,
Welcome in.
that's their sole remit. We're meant to have government by the people, for the people. We have government by the people, but for every other people on God's earth except the Irish people. And it suits our government that so few people are turning out to vote. And Micheál can stand up and get up on his high horse and talk about democracy and say that he's democratically elected, when at least 40% of our people have turned their backs on the electoral process. They have walked away. They see no hope. Anybody that mentions politics or running for office, oh yeah, you just want to get your snout in the trough. That's the attitude, unfortunately. And that suits our political establishment very, very well. It suits them because it ensures that they will be re-elected election after election after election. The government could fully suspend all excise duties on petrol and diesel and kerosene heating oil and gas and on other fuels used to heat houses and to run vehicles in this country, to run cars and lorries and tractors. It would actually create a level playing field because contractors and farmers wouldn't be seen as having an advantage over the over the ordinary motorists. And people should be afforded an opportunity, even for an interim period of 6 months, to buy petrol, diesel, kerosene and other fuels at cost price, which would allow people to kind of to get back on their feet, to save some money, and in time they would invest it. They would spend that money in the local communities, and that money would make its way into the overall Irish economy. But of course, that's too common sense a proposal for our government to take on board. And I mean, our government takes in approximately 6.5 billion euro, thereabouts, in excise duties every year from alcohol, tobacco, petrol, diesel, kerosene and other fuels. But last year, ladies and gentlemen, and approximately about half of that is from fuel. But it's important to remember, they can't play the old "we have no money" card, because we know that everywhere Micheál Martin goes or hate speech Helen McEntee goes, they just take out a wad of cash and give it to whatever country, whatever country they happen to be visiting. They give the money to every country, African countries, Ukraine. I mean, Zelensky, every time he sees Micheál Martin coming, he rubs his hands together because he knows there's another wad of cash on the way. Do you know that the Irish government, on behalf of the Irish people, have committed to pay Ukraine 2.9 billion euro of hard-earned Irish taxpayers' money as part of an EU loan to Zelensky and his merry mob? We won't see a cent of that money back, ladies and gentlemen. We will not see a cent of that money back. But the reason I was asked to speak here today was principally in relation to my experience in law enforcement, as the Americans would say. I was a member of Garda Síochána for over 30 years. And many of you here will know my history, my story. But I left Garda Síochána on the 1st of May 2013. And we policed, when I was a guard, we policed with the consent of the Irish people. Because Garda Síochána has policed with the consent of the Irish people since 1922, since its foundation in 1922. But it's important to remember that as Garda Síochána rapidly morphs into becoming a paramilitary police force, that this consent is not absolute. Okay, Garda Síochána polices with the consent of the Irish people, but it's important to remember that this consent is not absolute. And I think our Garda Commissioner and the Minister for Justice should take that message on board, because as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to policing us, I mean, they view us as being enemies of the state. You couldn't make this up. We are seen as enemies of the state. And there was a major sea change after the skirmishes in Dublin a couple of years ago, when those 3 children were attacked by that criminal scumbag from Algeria, or whatever the shithole he came from, third world shithole that he emanated from. All right? Now, the guards complained at that time that they were unable to use force against the rioters because they feared being complained about, and they feared that they would have been subjected to a rigorous complaints process. So as a result, from that time until now, An Garda Síochána have been given carte blanche to beat the living crap out of anybody that gets in their way. All right. It appears to me that policing by consent, when it comes to policing demonstrations, has gone out the window. And what we witnessed in Newtown Mount Kennedy, what we witnessed in Coolock, and as an aside, the people in Coolock were bullied, battered and bruised, but they would not yield.
Yeah, brother.
But in conclusion, I think, just to reiterate what I said earlier on, courage is
Back in Dublin around 8 if you're around
Courage
later.
is contagious. There is strength in numbers. And our main difficulty is persuading the majority of Irish people who still believe that there's nothing that can do. So what can we do? You know yourself, what can we do? If we can harness the anger, if we can harness the real anger that exists in Ireland among decent, hard-working Irish men and Irish women, then we will achieve victory. We will achieve victory. We will manage to consign these traitorous bastards that currently occupy Leinster House to the dustbin of history.
He's alright, he has his bike. 424 train. Who's on that?
Yeah. And in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be delighted to hear that I'm finished nearly. Just as I always say at the end of every podcast and every speech that I make, this is Ireland, our Ireland, and we will fight like hell to save her.
Hello, Johnny boy. Thanks, John.
This is the only flag that I will carry. This is the only flag that I will wave. Yes. Yeah. This is the only flag that I owe my loyalty to. No other flag. Behind you. Can I just thank the organisers here, Ian and his colleagues. I want to thank them on your behalf as well. Thank you very, very much for organising this event today. And there's a lady here who's going to come forward and sing Around the Veil.
Around the Veil, and then we'll clock off. We may get my move on. So much for having dinner. You're going to be fucking running to get the train. Well, walking. She's going to sing us out, folks. So,
I want to be in together.
No problem. Thanks for everyone who came in. And we'll finish her when she's finished.
I told me now again, we lost slew, Artillery good, we both the same, Shanshira, Shinshir, Fasta, the awkward, we tear on log, we Troy. I know that it's a honor which you're gonna will come Bosch new sail. Let Yanish green, we love and up will let Shally Fanny around the
You are lads. Well done. I'll just get in the handlebar. No little hole there, let's hide in there. Thanks, Vic. Thanks for popping in, and you're always welcome in here, Vic. You know that, buddy. So, everyone that came in throughout the day, nice one. I'll catch us all later. Oh, Vic. You keep on getting them. The stars, the moon. What's the song? The stars, the moon, they came out to play. Zoom, isn't it? Zoom. Yeah, you can play that later on, Vic. Alright, God bless you. See us all later, folks. Have a great day and enjoy tomorrow. DCRoams out.
Shout it!